Good evening and welcome to the April 16th, 2026 regular council meeting beginning at 7:30 p.m. We will be led in prayer by Pastor Keith Reisner, and if you would all please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow together. Heavenly Father, we bow our heads and our hearts before you, just wanting to acknowledge you, acknowledge our need for you. Lord, it's so easy for us, all of us, just so easy for us to lose sight of you and lose sight of your goodness. So we proclaim it tonight, and we thank you for your goodness to this city, the city of Trenton. Lord, there have been so many blessings throughout the years, and we thank you that we're the recipients of those, and we pray, Lord, that those blessings would continue on. Pray, Lord, for wisdom and guidance. And Lord, pray for your hand of mercy as our council meets and as they help to set direction for our city. And help them each, Lord, to seek your face, to seek wisdom. And God, we're grateful for the servants of this public. Thank you, Jesus. Now we pray your blessing upon this meeting. It's a privilege to attend together. We pray it in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Perry.
Here.
Vice Mayor Croucher.
Here.
Ms. Montgomery.
Here.
Mr. Profit.
Here.
Mr. Nichols.
Here.
Ms. Butts.
Here.
Ms. Rourke.
Here. All right, and we will go on to presentations. I'd like to ask Chief Carr to come up for the annual Meritus Award.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to move this around so the people that are seated to my left, I won't turn my back to them and be rude. And I am going to take advantage of these few moments that I have to be able to speak on a few topics, because normally I just sit in the back like a church mouse and don't say anything, so I'm going to speak up a little bit tonight. So the first thing I'd like to commend, bring to your attention, is some of the accomplishments of the members of the Trenton Police Department, specifically starting with Sean Gill. Sergeant Gill was recently invited to be an instructor at the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services Pathway to Excellence Summit. He is instructing on the state level for property room management as part of the Ohio Collaborative Agreement. This department is part of the Ohio Collaborative. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Collaborative, it is a panel of law enforcement experts, community leaders throughout the state that established Ohio's first state law enforcement standards. And we meet all of those standards in the city of Trenton. We're expected to meet or exceed these standards, develop policies and procedures to meet those expectations. So we are where we need to be. We are one of 600 law enforcement agencies in all 88 counties that participate in the collaborative agreement. So it is very nice for someone on the state level to reach out to an 18-officer department and ask a member to instruct the entirety of the state in proper procedure. Also, I'd like to highlight Detective Chris Bundren, and I'm going to read to you quickly the letter I presented to Prosecutor Mike Moser. There was a request from Mike Moser's office for nominations for an award for meritorious service. And I wrote, Chris Bundren was hired by the Trenton Police Department August 23 from the Laughlin Police Department in Hamilton County. He developed a solid reputation as an investigator, and during his tenure handled multiple investigations or participated in, including the department's last double homicide, and obtained a conviction. Since joining our police department, he has become an invaluable member bringing with him street and investigative experience from a very dynamic and challenging environment. In December of 24, a little over a year after he was hired, he was assigned as our department's detective. We currently have one. He began clearing cases, including some that had been dormant. Since January of 25, he used his training and experience to solve or assist other officers in solving approximately 75 cases, including burglaries, numerous sexually related offenses, including a serial exposer who had victimized multiple females in and around Trenton, and the kidnapping and rape of a 12-year-old, theft, financial offenses, and property crimes. To be clear, a 12-year-old was not taken off of the streets in the city of Trenton. This was someone that was known to the family. By closing these cases through arrest or other means, he's established credibility with the prosecutor's office and other Butler County agencies. Someone as a detective is historically one of the best in the patrol division and part of the upper echelon of officers within an agency. There were approximately 10 other detectives and or officers whose names and accomplishments were submitted for 2025. Mike Moser and his staff chose one, and that one in the entirety of Butler County was Detective Chris Bundren, who's employed here in this small agency. I'm very, very proud to have him on board and of his accomplishments. So moving on. Chris was hired in here because we had an opportunity for change. We had an opportunity for growth. And I was able to recruit Chris, and one of the strong selling points for the city of Trenton was the growth. And with that growth comes funding, training, equipment, opportunity, and improved responses for community needs. And I need to take this moment to thank current council members and past council members who may be listening. There has been several occasions where I've come to you and I've come to my boss and I have asked for and requested equipment, training, software, and those requests have been approved as long as I could articulate a valid reason. Chris uses those pieces of equipment, our training, our software programs, his own initiative, his own tenacity to be able to solve these cases. So I do need to thank you all for giving us the tools that we need to be able to do our job. One of the things we picked up along the way was a side-by-side. It's a new piece of equipment that we use periodically, and there's an insert for the bed. Not that we've ever needed it, but we may need it. If we have to recover someone from down around the railroad tracks, the trestle, we have a 4x4 with a bed insert. We can put a cot, a medic, an oxygen tank, a 5,000-pound winches on the front of it. We can get somebody out of wherever we need to. But that is pre-planning, and that is planning ahead. So we can be the professional agency that we need to be. I want everyone in this room to know that we are currently working on a new emergency operations plan for the city of Trenton that will encompass everything that we have within our city limits. I can tell you that I've worked with other department heads to discuss issues around our emergency operations procedure and whatever issues that may come up. Recently, I drove some construction sites in my unmarked car just to ensure that the access roads were accessible to emergency vehicles. If I can get through, other vehicles will be able to get through as well. The point with that is we are doing the little small things that no one may realize in an effort to pre-plan for whatever eventuality may occur. As far as other things that are issues within the city, traffic issues, debris on the roadway, noise issues, rowdy construction worker issues, which have come up in this chamber before, security issues, which have come up. The person that is responsible for those is me. I am. And I will be accountable, and I will answer to whomever. Whatever occurs within the city, whatever growth occurs, whatever transpires, we will get ahead of it, we will plan for it, and we will be able to address it. And let me take a moment before I forget. Those of you who are seated here, who took the time to be part of the Citizens Academy and show up and see exactly what we do, thank you for taking the time out of your evening to come out. We really appreciate you doing that. Moving on, and again, I just want to clarify, whatever is in our future, we will be able to address it. If not internally, we will call for assistance. Mutual aid is available to us both on the fire side and the law enforcement side. I've had numerous conversations with other chiefs, the sheriff, the attorney general's office. Whatever I need, I can get it on the radio or I can get it on my cell phone. So no matter what growth we experience, whatever occurs, we are planning for it now to be able to address it in the future. There's one other topic I want to discuss, and it's been brought to my attention. I'm not on social media. That's not me, but some postings have been brought to my attention. And they're rather toxic, and it's very unfortunate. In fact, some are on the threshold of being criminal. The First Amendment, adopted as part of the Bill of Rights, prohibits Congress from restricting certain freedoms, one of which is speech. We have the right to express opinions without government censorship or retaliation. I'm not the guy that enforces the First Amendment, I assure you. However, there are limitations on the First Amendment, such as incitement, speech that intends to and likely will incite immediate lawless action is not protected by the First Amendment. In the Ohio Revised Code, there's a section entitled Inciting to Violence, and it reads, "No person shall knowingly engage in conduct designed to urge or incite another to commit any offense of violence when either of the following applies." Specifically, the conduct, the posting, approximately results in the commission of any offense of violence against anyone. That is a felony. Menacing and aggravated menacing. No person shall cause another to believe that the offender will cause serious physical harm to the person or property of another person. And I could go into more detail with that, but I think you get the gist of it. And please understand that no person in this room directed me to address this issue. This is something as the police chief, I felt compelled to be able to address. I work for the city manager, but with all respect to my city manager and city council, I am not beholden to them. I will conduct an investigation when it is appropriate, and if I don't think it is appropriate, I will not. Just to be clear on that. It is unfortunate that I have to even address this matter, but looking at some of these social media postings, cracking skulls, breaking jaws, Molotov cocktails, that is right on the line, right on the line. And I have copies of these postings. I have taken no steps to investigate, and at this point, I don't know that I intend to go that direction. But I wanted to address it because I'm certain someone is listening, and I want council to know that I am aware of what is being posted as well. I've already reached out to the prosecutor's office. In fact, we were just down there for an awards ceremony. They're well aware of what is transpiring, and the resources I spoke of a few moments ago are at my disposal if I need them. I have several friends I've played sports with, I've known for quite a few years, that work for the Attorney General's office. I have also contacted them, and they are ready to assist should I need it. I hope that it does not go in that direction in this city, because that's not really the Trenton I know. As I came in last Sunday for Easter, and I went around to various houses of worship, I just felt compelled to do that with everything that's going on in the world. I was very warmly received, and that's more of the Trenton that I know. I had a great breakfast at the church up at the Nazarene Church. It was quite delicious, and I really enjoyed my time. That's the Trenton I know. Todd's IGA. Stopping in at McDonald's in the morning, listening to that Liars Club, that is the Trenton. That is the Trenton that I know and enjoy. So I felt compelled to address this. Again, I was not directed to address this topic, nor was I dissuaded from addressing this topic. So thank you for your time. Again, thank you for the people who showed up at Citizens Academy. Really appreciate you all wanting to learn about what we do. I'll get it. And again, if you have any concerns, first Friday of the month, State Street Coffee, stop in. My office is always open to you. Even if we miss each other, come back. We'll catch up eventually. If just understand, that the emergency services within the city of Trenton understand the challenges of growth, and we are preparing ourselves now for that growth, whatever it may be. You ever have any questions? Again, City Council, do you have any questions about anything, ma'am, sirs, anything? All right. Thank you for your time. And if you see Detective Bundren out in the community, please congratulate him, because that is quite a big deal to be recognized like that, considering all the large agencies in Butler County. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Good job.
We'll go to the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week proclamation. Whereas public safety telecommunicators are the vital link between the residents of Trenton and emergency services, serving the first and most critical point of contact during emergencies. And whereas these dedicated professionals answer calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ensuring that police, fire, and emergency medical personnel are dispatched quickly and effectively to protect life and property within the city of Trenton and surrounding communities. And whereas public safety telecommunicators across the United States manage more than 240 million 911 calls each year, demonstrating the scale, importance, and responsibility of their role in safeguarding communities. And whereas the work of telecommunicators requires specialized training, technical expertise, and the ability to remain calm, composed, and compassionate while providing life-saving instructions and reassurance during some of the most critical moments in a caller's life. And whereas National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, NPSTW, is observed annually during the second week of April, and in 2026 will be recognized from April 12th through April 18th to honor the thousands of emergency communicators professionals who serve their communities each day. And whereas this observance was established in 1981 by Patricia Anderson of the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Association, and was officially recognized at the national level in 1994, highlighting the longstanding importance of this profession. And whereas the City of Trenton proudly recognizes the dispatchers who serve our community, often behind the scenes, and yet those professionals' dedication and quick decision-making are essential to the safety, security, and well-being of our residents. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Ryan Perry, Mayor of the City of Trenton, Ohio, do hereby proclaim April 12th through April 18th, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And I personally, on behalf of council, would like to thank everyone that works here in the city. We've all had terrible times in our life when we needed them to step up, and they always have, and they've always been professional. So I would just, again, like to say thank you. All right, we'll go on to approval of minutes. Number 1 are the minutes of the April 2nd, 2026 regular council meeting. And number 2 are the minutes of the April 2nd, 2026 council work session. Do I have any amendments to the minutes as presented to us? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
So moved. Second.
We have Councilman Nichols and Councilman Rourke, correct?
Yes.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Prophet?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. We have nothing on the consent agenda, so we'll go on to correspondence. Number 1 of the March financial snapshot, Mr. Masisklis.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing further to report on this.
Thank you very much. And number 2 are the March 30th Planning Commission meeting minutes. Is there anything from you, Mr. Prophet?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to audience of public. When it's your time, please step to the podium and state your name and address if you have not done so on the sign-in sheet. And I'd like to remind everybody to keep the meetings to a reasonable time and to preserve decorum. The following rules shall apply. We will not attack members of the public or council personally. Both public and council will be addressed as a whole and not as individuals. While comments are open to all, taxpayers of Trenton and signups using their legal name will first have the floor, with signups going first. The person speaking at the lectern has the floor. During their time, no one else shall speak. After the speaker is finished, council or staff may answer any questions if they wish. While there is no set time, please be respectful to those who wish to speak after you so that we have time to set everybody in, and council and staff will not answer theoretical questions. And if litigation is mentioned, it will go directly to Mr. Zipfel, our city attorney, and no comment will be made by staff. And with that being said, we would like to welcome Mr. Glenn.
My name is John Glenn. I live right on the outskirts of Trenton. Me and you talked a while ago about some of my concerns. I still want to know price on the property that the city owns. I'll get a hold of Mr. Watson, find out the price on the property he owns. And if I can call people from back home in Tennessee to come farm it, that's what I'll do, as long as it don't get developed. That will take care of that. If you need my number or something to let me know prices, we can go that route too.
Okay, I can't negotiate for
Well, whoever can
the private
whoever
land.
can negotiate the city of Trenton's private or property that they own, give me a total ballpark price on the land that they physically own. I will get it sold to a farmer to move in here to have it farmed where it don't get developed. Me, like a lot of these people, moved here to get a small town feel to where I felt more like home. And I bought my house in 23 for my kids, and I mean, you talked earlier, my property value's already dropped with the data center stuff that's already started. Have you ever physically been on a data center or in a data center? Have you ever seen one being built?
Wait till the end. We're gonna wait till the end to answer any
The
questions.
reason I'm asking is I made a delivery to a data center in Columbus where there's 4 other data centers there already. I talked to the site foreman that said if they wouldn't given him almost a little bit over $2 million to build the place, he would not be building it. They've got 3 tankers sitting right there. If it gets over 180 degrees, with a big bomb, it goes off and will blow up 10 square miles, is what he told me out of his mouth. I've got 2 kids under the age of 10 that live less than 2 miles away from where this thing's being built. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do if this place blows up? What am I supposed to do if it gives off some kind of radiation? I got 2 kids that's going to get cancer. I work my butt off. I pay my taxes. I follow the laws. I bend over backwards to help anybody I can help. And now I didn't even get a say in this. It was not put to a vote to where I could come to the courthouse or something and vote whether I wanted it or not. This is America. It's a democracy. We vote for a president. We vote for a city council. We should have been able to vote for this and had our say in it, not just closed door meetings. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I've got 2 kids to look out for. I transport $100,000 loads through the city of Trenton every day. I hauled the concrete over here to your right beside Domino's. I hauled the concrete in there for them. And now, even though I don't agree with it, I'm probably going to have to haul the concrete in there for the data center because I have to have a paycheck to take care of my family. And I understand growth is inevitable. I understand that wholeheartedly. They tried to do the same thing in my hometown, and 75 farmers shut the town down. There wasn't a car or a truck get in or out. Every highway, interstate, roadway, everything was blocked. You could not get in my town. And then the town finally said, we're not going to let it get developed. It's getting to a point, to me, everybody's different, but it feels like we're being sold out. It don't matter what we want. It's whoever's money's getting pocketed, who can make the most bang for the buck, who can get the town recognized the most. What happened to a farming community, them fields that they're taking up right now? You know how much corn they produce a year that goes to feed livestock, put food on your table? That's farmland, and I understand you said you had a farmer had 1,000 acres, said he would sell them to them in a heartbeat and go buy 5 more farms. That's fine. But with that being said, how many farms do you see dying off right now because they don't have the younger generation don't want to take over the farm and they want the electronics? But yeah, you've got people that grew up doing it that's willing to do it, that have to call in favors from other people just to buy the land to farm, to produce your food. I don't know. I'm not eating bugs. I'll grow my own food. And that's what this country is trying to push to. And you guys letting them take farmland and putting these data centers in it's not necessarily the best or smartest move in a town this size. It's going to create chaos. I'm telling you, that guy up at that data center handed me a set of earmuffs, told me put them on or I wouldn't be able to hear the next day. I was in a tractor trailer. I mean, I really wish you guys going further would take more time to let the people vote on what they want in their town or in their community. That's what's making everybody mad right now, is they had no say at all in it. And the gentleman back here told me that it was put in the website of when this started 2 or 3 years ago, when the data center come up. I don't have time to go to the City of Trenton website every day and look to see what's going on new. I drive 11 hours of the day, pulling 80,000 pounds. If I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, somebody dies. Notifications from your Facebook page is how I find out what's going on. St. Clair Township, I find out what's going on there because they show up at my door. I had no inclination until everything started hitting Facebook about this data center. If I'd have known, or if I'd have known of a vote, I'd have been here to vote, and I'd have definitely voted no. I just would like more consideration to the public before we keep moving forward with building stuff. That data center is a big safety concern for me with my 2 kids. And I really, really hope you guys can take an effect that getting rid of that farmland down there is the biggest mistake you'll make your entire life. We need to stick together as a town, as a community, look out for each other, and things are going to get rough, especially with this Iran stuff. And you're going to need those fields to produce your food. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Ms. Humbert.
Hello, Amy from Trenton. Thank you, council, city manager, and mayor for allowing me to speak. For the past 7 months, many of us in the community have been attending the city council meetings expressing concern about the land that was sold and data centers that are being shoved down our throats. And then yesterday we find out that when the work session and council meeting minutes were amended, we are informed the city manager is petitioning to annex over 600 acres. Probably for more data centers, solar fields, or any other option many residents have expressed that they don't want. The blatant disregard for the community is disturbing. Do you know how the community feels about the recent proposal? Probably not, because we weren't asked about the initial data center, and we were expected to attend the meetings. You didn't consider the input from the community with the first data center, and it doesn't appear that you're taking any consideration on any of the input that we've been giving you on the last several months of meetings. At the last council meeting, several of us stood up in the audience, including myself, stating that they don't want any more data centers or any large-scale, potentially harmful industries in our community. But just 2 weeks later, a proposal is made for annexing 600 acres for more industry. I asked if community input would be taken into consideration for any future projects that may affect the community. Several council meetings ago, well, we've got the answer. The answer is no. Nothing we say seems to matter, and that's obvious. I would like to bring to everyone's attention now tonight's agenda, or agenda, under the industrial zoning districts, the terms, we have 2 industrial districts right now, right? IP and IG, and we have a proposal to amend 1248 for putting the parks and recreation zoning on it. Looking at the minutes for everything, I noticed that this is the second reading for the change regarding ordinance amending section 12408. There's a public hearing tonight for this code, amending it, and it is under, ordinance 05206. So if you look on the website, it's on here. The first sentence, it says, an ordinance amending section, the codified ordinance, whereas it is the desire of city administration to amend city legislation so for the inclusion of newly created zoning districts, but it doesn't say what district, what type, what number, what letters, anything. And then it goes on below it to say that the new ones, the 2 that were mentioned in the minutes from the last time here, it says 2 new zoning districts, parks and open space and public institutional. Those are the 2 that should be amended. But then when you actually look at the ordinance and you go down to where it says industrial zoning, there's a 3rd one on here that says IT. That was not in the minutes. That was not anything that looks like it was stated was supposed to be included in the first reading. So I don't know how it got on the ordinance as a piece, or a piece that's already been approved, when the piece that's supposed to be is noted in red. So this is bringing your attention to the part that we want, but all of a sudden you see this piece here that's being kind of snuck in there and nobody is seeing about it. So let me get back to my paper there. So as to what type of, it's not noted on the original first reading. For the February 19th meeting, the only item that should be included are the public institutional zoning district and the open space zoning district. So in the ordinance of 05-2026, the first whereas should be removed. I don't believe that that should be approved or continued because it wouldn't be the first reading. It wouldn't be the second reading. It wasn't ever identified. The ordinance, in my opinion, there are too many changes happening to our zoning ordinances just to placate large industries, and there's no consideration being given to the members of the community. I would enjoy getting up and speaking about the positives of the city, but unfortunately it's difficult and nearly impossible when the government continues to do things like, it seems like they snuck this information in, didn't bring attention to it so people wouldn't see it, and it wasn't identified in any previous meeting. So I would love to get up here the next time and actually talk about something good. But at this point in time, there's a lot of bad that seems to be happening for a lot of the people in the community. You know, 600 more acres of industry is not what we wanted. We're complaining about the 142 acres of industry that is being put out there, and now we're getting 600 more. So it's just, it's disappointing. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nichols or Mr. Ziffel, would you like to address?
Ordinance number 05-2026, the only revision relate to the red provision 1248, which is the attachment, creates the public civic district of public institutional and parks and open space.
I thought that
the other industrial districts are previously codified. Sorry.
Yes, please speak
I
up.
apologize, I have that problem. The industrial zoning districts are not being touched by this legislation. If there was that language has been there. We went through this process for the IT prior. Can't recall exactly when. Went through the formal process to establish that district a while ago. Now, it might not be reflected on American Legal Publishing, which is our provider, our website provider for our codified ordinances, because unfortunately American Legal Publishing only updates their webpage every so often. What that timing is, I don't know, but something I can think of.
I do believe that when we established IT,
Can't remember when.
It might have been last fall because it was the zoning that we established that moved the road frontage back, established higher greenery around IT. I do remember establishing the IT district because it's more restrictive than IG.
Yes.
And that was the initial thing, was that IG was for general industrial, and data centers fit under general industrial. It's a permitted use for general industrial, but we wanted to change it to be a little more strict, so we established IT, if I'm correct with that.
You are. Sorry.
Yeah. So it may not have been updated on American Legal Publishing, but it was established last fall.
Yes, I will.
We will get you a date. Thank you. Excuse me if I'm not going to say the last name because I can't decipher it, but this would be Jill that lives in Wayne Madison. Yeah, Jill.
I didn't know.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. In the future, if you'd like to speak, how do you pronounce your last name? Just so. Oh, I was about to go with Buskin, so I'm glad you said that.
He was thinking bakery, wasn't he?
Yes, I was. That's the first thing I thought was the bakery. We'll go with Mr. Embry.
Take this out. Gary Embry of 2029 Wayne Madison Road, St. Clair Township. I have a question. Did I understand this correctly, that by the owners of properties asking to be annexed, that you do not have to have the opinion of the neighbors?
Are there any other?
On the opinion of the neighbor.
The neighbors, if.
Do they have any say-so?
There's a meeting for the county to have for procedural compliance with the county. That goes through the county. That's not through the
Not
city.
through here.
Yeah.
Okay. I've lived neighbors to the Watson property for 27 years. 2006, they bought it. They did core samples. Found out that it was not suitable as a gravel pit, because that's the business they're in. They approached, and this is according to St. Clair Township zoning person, Jerry Lanning, who's passed away. They approached Trees Homes to build a bunch of houses there. Okay? There's no sewage, no water. Correct? Why was there a water line put on the Watson property approximately 2.5 years ago, which I've mentioned it before, we're well aware of it? A water line was put on there. Who requested it be put there? And furthermore, it's not usable because, why? Because Southwest Water District, and this information comes from you guys, has the rights to that. So after 20 years, now the Watson people approach you, they want to be annexed. Don't you find it unusual that you put water there 2.5 years ago and now they're going to annex it after 20 years? And by the way, they did over 800 core samples because I talked to the people that did them. Don't you find that unusual? No answer?
I'll answer when you're finished.
Pardon?
I'll answer when you're finished, as the rules stated.
I'm finished. Trust me.
Okay. Mr. Nichols, we took water down that 2 years ago, correct?
Yeah, it's been over 4 years or so since the water line was installed, yeah.
Why was the use for us taking the water line completely down there? Because I know we didn't extend sewer because that parcel does not have sewer.
Correct. So much like any potential development or growth opportunity, the thought was to extend
it was during that time we extended it down there to have water for any potential growth opportunities that would be there, because we were aware, as all of you are, that they took core samples, they didn't find what they needed, and to be quite honest, they're not in the farming business.
Nope.
So we knew that eventually they would look to develop it or to use it for other uses.
They were in the farming business for 20 years. The Watsons were, okay? Just like probably you are right now on the Prochelle farm, because they're over there, the farmer's over there now on it, okay?
Right.
So he was in it for 20 years. So you said 4 years ago, so after 16 years, who requested the water line be put there?
Mr. Nichols? Do we have to look that up?
No, that would have been a conversation between probably the service director and myself and Mr. Watson, the property owner.
So in order for us to extend there, he would have had to ask us to extend the water lines through there. We can't just decide we're going to extend the water lines into the township.
Sounds like an enticement.
Well, just because that
Excuse
water
me if I'm
line's on
wrong.
that side of, just because that water line's on that side of the road doesn't mean it can't service the other side of the road either.
Doesn't mean what now?
Just because it's on that side of the road doesn't mean it can't service both sides of the road. Most water lines are on one side of the road, and the individual.
You already had a water
lines
line on the
go
other
under
side of
the
the
road.
road. The water line was already on the other side of the road because you went under the road.
We're getting into
Not
a
that
back
far
and
now.
forth now, sir.
Okay.
You said you were finished?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Apologize.
No problem.
Yeah, there is, but I apologize.
Miss Embry.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm the other half of him. I'm Karen Embry. I live at 2029 Wayne Madison. 2 days ago, I had someone pull up to the driveway who was a friend of ours and say that there was something going on the Watson property. There was people back there, 20, 30, 40 people. I don't know. I'm 78 years old, and my eyes and ears aren't as good as they used to be. Wanted to know why they were doing where they dig a property and whatever the word is called for that. And I wanted to know if they've made a decision on what they're going to do with that property, what is going to be done on that property that is going to affect our families. There are 3 families, small children, my grandchildren, that go up and down our lane. Everybody seems to be freewheeled to come up our driveway. One of the trucks that was back there yesterday and today come down our driveway, just tooling right along. No concern to the fact that this is a lane that is owned by the 3 people that own that property, and no concern with the safety and the protection of our families. I think obviously there's something going on back there that you guys don't want to share with us, or that no one wants to share with us. We can't seem to get any answers as to what they're looking at for that property, or what they're going to do, what it's going to affect the value of our homes. And 27 years is a long time to sit on your front porch and watch deer run and coyotes run and raccoons come to visit and possums come into your barn and die. And all of a sudden, the nature and the situation of what we came there to live with, because we came from Fairfield, and let me tell you, that is a problem. When we came from Fairfield, we came out here because we didn't want that kind of sidewalk neighborhood to live in for our families. Now, all of a sudden, we don't even get to hear have a say in what's going on around us. And we are offended by it. And we're not the only ones offended. The young man that owns 32 acres behind us, we talked to yesterday and today, and he knew nothing about any of this. The family that lived behind me, who moved out of Trenton because they lost a daughter to suicide that went to Edgewood High School, and they wanted to get away from that situation. So they moved their other daughter and her family, and they moved out of Trenton, just far enough, but close enough, because the town meant so much to them. It just seems like the reasons for what these people are here for is being ignored, and we don't even get the courtesy of an answer when we ask a question, and we get some excuses. We don't know, we can't talk, I just think we deserve more respect for that. And, you know, like I said, I answered my door to a friend and find out somebody's digging a hole with 30 people in the field next to me. And why? Don't we have a say as to what's being built there? Don't we have a say in what's going on around us? It doesn't seem like no one really gives a two hoots and a holler what we care about. I feel like we're being left out of the equation here. The people are, and I don't think anybody's asking. I mean, I'm in for growth. I think the new Y thing that you're building, I think that's great. I think the McDonald's, I think that was a real asset to the kids and the families in this community who have to run in and out and grab their kids in a hurry. I think that some of your decisions have been class act, but right now, we're not being included in any of those decisions, and I think we deserve that right.
Thank you. Mr. Blankenship.
Good evening, Mayor Perry, Council,
Good evening.
the others right here around us. I've been disturbed ever since this morning when I woke up, because I love this community. Y'all love this community. They love this community. And right now, and it was asked to not call names, and I'm not. One person mentioned unity. That's what we need. But data centers, hidden agendas to where we notify somebody maybe 24 hours in advance, if we're lucky at that, when people get up to see it, because not everybody's going to check their information late in the evening or whatever. That's not unity. That's, in a lot of ways, division. And as we already know, it's been said before, 141 acres in a data center's caused enough division in our community already. 600 more acres, if that's what it's going to be, is more data centers. That's going to kill this community. It's going to kill people's trust. It's going to kill any unity that we have. And it's been said that, well, y'all should have came. Now we're here. And we're not going nowhere. So if we're going to be here, let's talk about it now, get it out in the open. That way we know what's going on from the get-go, instead of, well, we can't talk about it. Talk about what we can so everybody can know what's going on, to where it's not hidden, where people think there's crooks. I'm not going to call you that because I don't think it's crooks. I know what's going on. But a lot of people think that it's crooked. It's this, it's that. Help the community understand what's going on, instead of trying to wait 24 hours in advance. Well, we got a meeting on this, or we can't talk about it because it's executive. The people want to know what's going on in their city. We love it. If we didn't love it, we wouldn't be here. I came from a beautiful state, but my beautiful state has 600 of them. I don't want to go back to my beautiful state because of it. But at the same time, I don't want to be in a beautiful state that's got 200 of them, 117 more planned, plus another 70 in the works. So where in the world can we go to be beautiful again? Beautiful isn't 800,000 square feet data center sticking up in the air, or more of them. Beauty is to be able to go out on a trail, or like I was last night over in Madison, to be able to go out and hear crickets, hear frogs, so actually see the sky. That's beautiful. That's what we want. But that's not what we're getting. And if we keep building like that, you might as well just turn one big light bulb on over Trenton and say, here you go, folks. Well, all it is going to be light and noise all day long. Because I'm telling you, we're getting noise all night long now. Butler County's already been called. The city of Trenton's already been called. I've already talked to someone here in this building about dust, and it's still dusty because nobody can do a daggone thing about it. If we can't do nothing right now about dust, if we couldn't stop Carvana, how in the world are we going to do anything to get anybody else to follow the law? I mean, we're all a community, but if we can't come together as a community and understand what's going on and be together on this community, there'll never be unity. It's always going to be division. And I hate seeing that because there's a lot of good people up there. There's a lot of good people back here. There's a lot of people out there that's not even here. And all of us love this place for one reason or another. And that love isn't just for money or for data centers. That love is because this is a beautiful place. The farms. When I came here, that was one of the things that attracted me to Ohio. I love seeing corn. I love seeing soy. I love seeing fruit trees. That love's going away slowly, every community that I go to. I've been to Wilmington. I've been to New Albany. I've been to Hilliard. I've been all other places in the state. Talked to a lot of different other counties, communities, and all of them's going through the same thing. They're killing it because of one big thing. I hate seeing that here. I do. I told you all that from the get-go. That's the only thing I have with y'all sitting up here, any of you, is one thing, and that's a data center. And you'll find out if you just talk to people, listen to people, that's what most of their other concerns is. It's one thing. One thing is going to slowly kill a community and slowly kill everybody's opinions of y'all or us. I hate seeing that because it shouldn't come down to one thing. Please, I ask all of you, think about what you're doing. Think about your community. Think about the people. It's not just the people in Trenton. It's Madison. It's St. Clair. It's all the other little communities around us. It all impacts everybody. This doesn't impact Trenton because it's in Trenton. It impacts Miles. And that's something y'all need to think about. You just can't think about what's here. You got to think about everybody around. There's a couple pastors sitting here, in through here. When God said love, he didn't love one little community or one set of people. God loved everything. And right now, that love isn't everything. It loves this one little area. And I hate seeing that. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Mr. Vall. Mr. Vall. All right. Ms. Markham.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, everyone that's here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I had something I wanted to speak on tonight that included praise and appreciation for some people that work here with the city. But given what has transpired in the last 26 hours, I have had to table those comments for more pressing matters. Mayor Perry, a few meetings ago, you invited us to show up mad if we had to be mad.
Please keep it as council. Thank you.
The council invited us to show up mad. I'm not just mad, I am livid. Livid. If I could find a stronger word to describe my anger at what this city is doing to us, I would use it. But for now, livid will have to do. For almost 6 months, through 12 council meetings, residents have stood at the front of this council and said, "We don't trust you. We don't think you're being transparent. You are not communicating. You are not answering questions." This council has pretended you were doing the best you could. Clearly, our communication wasn't effective in 2024, but we'll do better. We will try to do better. You invited conversations at council meetings, and then you took them away, and then you intelligently gave them back, which we appreciate. You offered to have roundtables, which are no longer happening. You invited us to let you know how you could better communicate with us. You placed blame on residents, saying it was our fault for not doing our due diligence to know how the zoning was being changed, or to scrutinize meeting minutes to see Prologis' name in there, or to scour the Dayton Daily News for the little blurb that announced Trenton was going to have a hearing about data centers. People have told you they don't believe that, have told you that you're lying to our faces, have told you they don't believe those excuses, that you've tried your hardest. You've made it look like it's other places we should be talking. That's the county, that's the EPA, that's the state. We can't talk about that because of executive session. And you have made all of us out to be horrible people for accusing you of those things, for not being forthright, for not serving the residents of Trenton. And yet, in the last 26 hours, you have just proven us right. If all of those things were true, if all of those excuses that you are trying to make were actually true, then how do you explain the agenda for tonight's meeting? For putting out the annexation motion just barely outside the required 24 hours of notice before this meeting tonight. This motion request to annex the land was not developed yesterday. Our staff did not put together 50 pages of documentation, contracts, and engineering renderings in a day. This council, our staff, our lawyer knew that this was going to be on the agenda for days, maybe even weeks. And yet the first draft of the agenda that went out for tonight said no mention of annexation of land. That was a choice. You all chose not to put that information out there until the last possible minute that was required by law. You chose to keep Trenton residents and St. Clair residents and Madison Township residents in the dark for as long as possible so that we would have the least amount of time to disseminate that information, the least amount of time for us to look over it and come here prepared to ask questions and to state our objections. Everything you've done over the last several months has been nothing but a stall tactic. It's a distraction, an effort to keep us confused and clueless and looking over here or looking over there for as long as possible so you guys could do whatever it is you wanted to do. You've also claimed you went forward with this data center project despite it likely being an unpopular decision. Again, words of our mayor in the November 20th council meeting. Because no one showed up to speak against it before the land was sold. Again, we can talk about how we don't agree with that. You were not making efforts to get people here in 2024 because you didn't want people to have a chance to speak against it. But what's the excuse now? You've had 6 months of people objecting. I myself stood here 2 weeks ago and clearly objected to this exact thing. And yet here we are plowing ahead with no regard for your residents, for their concerns, no actual transparency, no communication. I started by saying I was hoping to give a thanks to people, and I guess in a way I can tonight. With the actions of the last 24 hours, this council, our city manager, our lawyer have managed to vindicate every person that has stood here over the last 6 months and said, we don't trust you. We were justified not to trust you. You have proven us right. So thank you for that. Now, as you get ready to vote on this, you should know that people are watching in Trenton, in Butler County, and beyond. If you vote yes to annex this land and then run full steam ahead with more data centers, you have proven every person watching here that you are not serving the people of Trenton. Whatever your motivation, whatever it is, something selfish, maybe you're getting pressure from politicians at the county, the state level, wherever. Maybe we're just blindly following our city manager and our lawyer. Whatever the reason, it is not because you are serving the people of Trenton. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So let me just answer to this. Number one, we're not voting to annex anything tonight. We are voting to start the process, which will go through the county as well. And this isn't a final vote. At the end, we will vote whether to officially annex or not, but this still has a review with the county. This is the city of Trenton saying we're open to the request of the property owners to annex it. And then number two, the use for that property, nothing officially has been said. They are saying that they would like to annex in, and they would like to annex in their fields. This is not a hearing for the zoning of those fields. That will come later, or what the use of those fields once they annex in will be. All this is saying is, yes, we hear your request as the property owners, and we are open to starting the process of annexation. So regardless of what is voted on tonight, nothing will be annexed for how long does the process take?
It'll take months.
So nothing will be annexed in for months after it is reviewed by not only the county, but both of the townships as well will review it. They will make sure that Trenton can provide all the services that those properties will be entitled to once they're annexed in. And then only after a county review and townships are notified, will we take an official vote to annex or not? So I wanted to make sure that everyone is clear on the annexation process. This is not a vote tonight to annex. Regardless of what we vote tonight, nothing will be annexed without the proper reviews to make sure that we can fulfill our obligations to that land as we must. And with that being said, I will open it up to citizens of Trenton. Good.
Hello, council. Everyone else, I'm sorry, I don't know names. My name's Brad. I live on Wayne Madison. Right on the back half of Rochelle, I think that property over there was. I mean, your job's probably not easy. There's a lot of upset people. It's really tense in here. But I just want to ask that
Cut it with a knife.
I want to ask that you think about those people that live right next to that. You know, we were never given the opportunity. We approached Rochelle, maybe to buy like a little buffer. I know progress is progress and it has to happen. It will happen if we like it or not. But we have a whole family on that little lane over there by Woodsteel drive-through, you know, the little lane over there. There's about 7 families. I see a couple here with kids. You know, I moved here after I got back from serving this country. And I'm happy to move here because, you know, there's a small little town, cornfield behind us. I just ask that you think about those little families when you make these choices tonight, in the future. I mean, small fish in a big pond, but still, you know, I'm a father. And I want my son to grow up here as well. So these are just words to think about. We all have families. I mean, what is it for us to do, like, you know, as a society? It's for the next generation. We need to start thinking about that generation. Now, the farmland stuff, yeah, it's going to happen. Farms are going to come, they're going to go. But I ask you to think about those little houses on Wayne Madison that have been there since 95, 96, 97. Those little families, those little businesses that provide income to Trenton as well. You know, I would like to wake up and not have to stare at a big building. I know we don't know what the land's for, but, you know, anything can happen. You know, we can't predict the future. But I just ask that you give us and everyone here that grace, you know, of being forthwith, maybe working a little extra with us. There's a lot of different things we can do, you know, with that land that can maybe make everyone happy. Not everyone, but maybe most of us. So just with that, I just want to, that's it.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you.
You as well.
Hello, still open to city members, right? Residents. I'm Angela.
I did not prepare a speech tonight, so as I sat here with my head down, listening to everyone that I completely agree with behind me so far, I put together quickly what I could speak on tonight. I've worked with some of you before, so I'm sure you recognize my face. I just want to state that I bought my home here in Trenton 12 years ago when I was pregnant. I was selective when I decided my home in Trenton, Ohio. I considered a home in Westchester where I was raised. However, this area at the time offered more spacious, beautiful, small town environment that I considered safe for my family at the time, 12 years ago. I only very recently found out about the plans that everyone here so far tonight is addressing regarding a data center, annexation, selling off more land for the industrial use. So no matter how many word salads are served, we all know that the intent is industrial use. And I can speak for everyone behind me that has nodded their heads throughout everyone's comments so far tonight, that they're in agreement, that we don't agree with the industrial use. With mentioning that I just became aware very recently that any of this was taking place. Mind you, I am a resident of this city, a mother to children, very invested, very concerned, very aware of my surroundings, had no idea any of this had taken place, and found out 2 years ago the decision was made. And then, as was mentioned earlier tonight, November, there was commentary from council that the residents should show up. How can the residents show up when we're unaware? I wasn't made aware until some of those faces that are here behind me made me aware through public platforms that I had no idea I needed to even go look at or go search or seek out because I felt safe. I thought my family was safe here. It is unconscionable to me now, knowing the harm that is bound to come from building a data center, as well as any additional annexation and or plans for any additional harmful builds in our backyard. I never would have selected Trenton had I known that one day my family's health and my family's safety would be at risk. And for what? To fill the pockets of just a few, only to harm an entire community. My plan has been to pass down my home that I worked by myself. I busted my tail to get my home by myself, a single mother of 3 children, and I worked hard for the home that I have. And my plan was to pass my home that I worked hard for, not from child support, not from any other man's income, me. I did it, and I did it to pass to my children, my future grandchildren, and every generation to come. Our security, safety, and sense of belonging to a small town community that genuinely cares about its residents has been obliterated by every one of you that should have used your elected voice to truly represent and protect every single resident of this community. But you did not. I previously heard someone say in one of these recorded meetings that if you didn't understand, you being your elected voices, didn't understand what you were agreeing to at the time that you agreed to it, we can understand that. But it isn't too late to do the right thing. The thing that you swore under oath that you would do and that you would uphold. And that is to support your constituents. That's all.
Thank you. No, sir, we're going to keep it to one time being up here.
Oh, I was just sitting here listening, perhaps got an idea.
We can speak about it after the meeting. Thank you. All right, we'll open this up to non-residents of Trenton.
Mayor, council, ladies and gentlemen. Donna LaFever, Deer Run. I'm a Trenton resident, and we have been asking for transparency on the data centers for months, loudly, consistently, and publicly. And we are still not getting any answers. Stormwater utilities, infrastructure, these critical components are still not fully verified. There are not minor details. They determine whether this project is safe and appropriate for our community. Yet, at the same time, annexation is moving forward. In fact, the annexation item before you was introduced roughly 24 hours notice and added abruptly. That does not allow for meaningful public awareness or participation. So from a resident's perspective, it raises serious concern that the land is being bought under control to allow for expanded industrial development, potentially including additional data centers build out before the full impacts of the current project are even understood. That is backwards. At this point, it doesn't even feel like a lack of information. It raises concern that it is becoming more and more about expansion. What many residents would reasonably view as a land grab, rather than transparent and responsible planning. We are also seeing structural steel being delivered to the site, despite no vertical permit being issued that we are aware of. From a resident's perspective, that raises concerns about whether the proper sequence of approval is being allowed. Pause this process until the data is complete and the public is fully informed, because we are not going to stop asking, and we are not going to quietly accept decisions we are expected to live with. So I'm asking directly, once all the stormwater, utility, and infrastructure studies are fully completed and verified, will there be a dedicated meeting, public meeting, to review those findings before any final decisions are made? I would appreciate a clear answer for that.
Mr. Nichols, what studies are still outstanding?
I believe stormwater drainage and other things as it relates to calculations with the engineering groups.
Okay, and that is under who oversees stormwater drainage?
So that would be within planning and zoning and our engineering group working through that administratively. So as was discussed during the planning commission meeting, what was approved was the site plan, the zoning and things of that nature, and then administratively, staff would work to ensure that it meets our code as it relates to drainage calculations and things of that nature, as that is an administrative review.
And it's all done through a licensed engineer, correct?
Correct.
So we're waiting for the licensed engineer to get back.
Yes.
With
So
us.
their engineer is working with our engineer to make sure that the drainage calculations and all of those calculations fit and align with our code and our standards, because we will not while planning commission approves the zoning and the site plan process, we won't allow them to move forward until our licensed engineer has approved those things as it fits to our codes and our regulations.
Okay. So what we have approved is just the initial site plans.
Correct.
Correct.
And then everything else is done administratively.
Okay.
I have a question. Do they have a time limit to where we can get the information to the citizens quicker? Do they have a time limit they have to meet?
No, it's a back and forth of engineer provides a revised calculations, our engineer reviews the revised calculation, provides feedback, they go back and it's a back and forth.
And we couldn't put no kind of pressure on them to speed it up at all?
We certainly can. I would think that they would want it sped up because they cannot go vertical or build buildings until those things have been approved by staff.
Right.
So
Okay.
I would assume that they would want to move as fast as possible.
All right, thank you.
And that's the same exact procedure that we handle with any development, right?
Correct.
So will or will there not be a public hearing for the findings?
We can certainly put that information on the city website, yes. But as far as it is an administrative review of our code, I don't know if there's a hearing that is done.
There's no.
We don't do that.
But those are critical components, but you had a meeting for the lighting and the drive and the parking lot, but nothing that even is infrastructure, stormwater or utilities. That's the structure of the whole basis of the whole data center. That makes no sense to me.
That is the section of code as it relates to site plan review that outlines each specific item that planning commission must review and approve. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She was in line first.
You flip a coin. Erica Updike, ErikaUpdike, resident of Liberty Township. Like others, I had many things to talk about, even all 140 pages that were posted at 5:24 p.m. last night. The bare minimum legally that you had to post the agenda. Why would any of us check the agenda? Because it had already been posted. Also, most of us that have been in direct opposition to this project and raising very valid scientifically based concerns about this project, most of us were at St. Clair Township meeting and the Madison Township trustee meeting. So we were a little busy seeing what's happening in the townships. And then imagine everyone's surprised to get home and then realize just bare minimum things were changed in the evening to add this, where we had 24 and a half hours to review this, to change plans, to make childcare plans, to adjust our plans, to come here and be brave enough to speak in public. We don't hide behind NDAs. We have to come up here and bear our opinions in a forum that's not easy. And it's not easy for me being a former middle school teacher here in this district. This is not easy. I have many objections to this. Overarching, I object to council. When there have been so many things happening that have had the appearance of impropriety time after time after time, and I'm just a neighbor in Liberty Township. I'm not at Todd's IGA. I'm in the middle of getting 4 kids ready for school at 7 a.m. on Friday. I can't drive up here for 20 minutes to hang out and have coffee with a cop. I barely get coffee myself. I don't have a wife at home to take care of things, to come be at council. We all make adjustments in our life to do this, but this is important. Even me, not as a resident of this area, as a neighbor 4 miles away, as a person who was so invested, I was ready to teach my entire career here. And my career got cut short because of the apathy of voters here who, on a renewal levy 15 years ago, the levy failed by 6 votes because everybody assumed it was going to pass and nobody went to vote. Do y'all remember the day Touchdown Jesus burnt down? Do you remember that storm? That was the day they certified the election failed. And so me, in my home of 1 week, 4 miles here, we bought a house 4 miles from here because of my job, not because my husband ended up taking a 35-minute drive to be closer here. So imagine my surprise that they certified the election failed that day. And I knew 5 months pregnant me, just bought a house, just got a dog. My time here was done because of the apathy of people not being involved. So maybe that's my origin story of why I'm here now. I will not stand by quietly like I did 15 years ago as a brand new teacher, feeling like I couldn't say anything. Only one member of this council has been open to any discussion of pausing this project. Everyone else seems to be blindsided by reasons we don't know and just continue to move forward. Like others, I have other words that I could use for the rage that I feel, but I should probably not put those on public record. No environmental studies have been done. There's been no collaboration, no outside involvement. We got a general, yeah, we involved Butler County, but who? Metro Parks weren't involved. Southwest Ohio Water, Conservancy District, we have no studies. In my opinion, nothing should have been done until we had all of the information. There should not have been a grading permit. That got slipped in by Butler County. We didn't know that that was the process. So now it feels like squatters' rights. So no, I don't think anything should be done. I think we're missing the overall point. This permit should be tabled, full stop. Nobody even wants to start this petition for annexation. Let's back that bus up. Because we already got the grading permit, and let's see where we are now. There's construction materials. It's in the middle of a farm. We can all see it. So how many turns are things not feeling honest? And I know I was called a liar by a member of council. It's on a Facebook. You post things on Facebook. Watch the videos. No one wants data centers here. No one wants the solar complexes. I'm not even called a farm. It's not a farm. That land, if the solar complex is put in, can never be used to farm again. It literally poisons the ground. Put the solar panels on top of the brand new city complex that you tore another historical house down for. Put the solar panels there. The latest technology anyway is integrating solar panels into windows. It's flexible film. It's not solar panels in the middle of the most prime farmland in Butler County.
You have a couple more minutes.
We want clean water, clean air, clean land, and especially in this unknown economic situation where our country is literally at a war that nobody wants. We need to be able to grow our food shortly. We, the public, come here in good faith, and it's disheartening just to be called liars. And you want us to trust your decisions, but I'm sorry, I don't. And that's me as a neighbor. And your decisions affect me. They affect Liberty Township. I can tell you if this was happening in Liberty Township, the trustees, that there would have been motions to take them out of office because this is so inappropriate. Regenerative farming is back. There are options to use this farmland as farmland. We have an incredible opportunity with Butler Tech for regenerative ag. Why can't we lease the land to farmers? The younger generation wants to farm. They just can't get financing.
1 minute.
We can't compete with international land grabs like this. I would love nothing more than to find an old house with a couple acres, grow some wildflowers, have chickens like I had when a kid, have a cow, I don't know. But nobody wants data centers. Nobody's going to want to live around here anymore. This land was farmed for over 200 years by immigrants, by the Augsburgers, including my ancestors that I've learned lived around here, and generations prior by Native Americans. Obviously, this is bigger than just my interest in historical houses, but this should not be approved. It's wild that anyone's even asking. Nobody wants to start this petition. So that is what should be tabled.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, you'll be our last speaker.
Council, I'm actually a resident of Trenton. I've spoke before. I actually am an electronic engineer for a very large diesel manufacturer, and I've spoke about this once before. And I think it's a reminder of the capacity and how large these engines for these generators are going in. I've actually talked to you guys about the noise levels from these generators that when they actually fire up in these and these data centers are actually requiring more power because of electric goes out or for whatever reason. These data centers require from 60 liter, 78 liter, 95 liter engines for gensets. The 95 liter, and the reason I know this is because I have multiple hours testing this engine. I've tested from 2.8 liter all the way up to 95 liter engines for my company. And I can tell you right now, you don't have an inkling of an idea of how loud a 95 liter engine is. I will remind you that a 95 liter engine at full throttle will consume 175 gallons per hour. And you're going to have 112 generators hooked up to this data center. Can you imagine 112 generators firing up all at the same time? And I don't care about your noise levels that you guys have for the city. It's going to be in violation every time those generators fire up. And you guys don't even care. You guys are not even looking at that. And that blows my mind. And you know how much gallons of fuel that these fuel tanks are going to have to hold under each generator to consume 175 gallons per hour? Thousands of gallons. Or if not, you're going to have fuel trucks coming in every day to fuel up these generators. I don't understand how you guys can just approve this. How you guys are okay with this number of loud generators. The test cells that I work in for the 95 liter are almost as tall as a ceiling, and the rooms are as wide as this room, just to compensate for the amount of instrumentation and the electrical hookups we have to do to monitor the engine. It's just, I don't know, but y'all need to realize what they're about to put in. It's going to be scary. And for the people that are going to be living within 1,000 or maybe 2,000 feet of this data center, you guys are going to have a rude awakening on how loud these generators are going to be when they fire up. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Stas, do we know what is buzzing?
That buzzing is.
Oh,
can it be turned off?
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware it was your hearing aid, sir. If you'd like to plug it back in so that you can hear the meeting, we'll be okay.
May I say something?
Go ahead.
Him talking so much about the generators, they're only allowed a minimum time of running on these facilities. Yeah, they are. The men that came and we had that meeting at the high school, they're not going to be running full. You make it sound like it's going to be running full speed 24 hours a day, and that's not true. That's false information.
1 hour per week, right?
What's that? I can't remember. There's a minimum amount of time they're allowed to run them.
I'm sorry. Can we, let's hold one thing. Go ahead.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
What happens, this is the only thing I want to say. What happens when we have a huge electrical storm that comes through this area through either spring, mainly in the spring, when we have, and even in the heat, in the summertime, we have these big electrical storms that come through our area and wipes out the substation or wipes out a huge transformer that supplies electric to that data center.
And they're still only allowed a minimum time. There is a restricted minimum time.
It is, they're allowed to test for 7 minutes every other week.
So I'm saying, what I'm saying is that when the electrical grid goes down, you think the data center, whoever these people, millions and millions and millions of dollars that's invested into this data center, and it being military,
I understand that at the acts of God.
Let's keep the back and forth a little under. Just go ahead and finish up, yes.
Okay. All I'm saying is that you think that they're just okay, 1 hour, we're done, we can't do that. We'll just cut the generators off. That ain't gonna happen.
And may I just respond? But they're not going to run 24 hours a day and so many 100 gallons an hour every single day.
We're gonna stop it there. Thank you. Yep, we're gonna stop it there and we'll move on to unfinished business. I would like to entertain a motion that we read items 1 through 3 under unfinished business by title only.
So moved. Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and you got Miss Councilwoman Butts. It took me a second there. I was like, hold on.
made my voice higher.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher.
Yay.
Ms. Butts.
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery.
Yay.
Mr. Prophet.
Yay.
Mr. Nichols.
Yay.
Mr. Rourke.
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Mr. Zipfel.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1, a resolution approving a change in location for the proposed Veterans Memorial from Community Park to the municipal complex located at Trenton Square.
Thank you. I'd like to remind you that everything that's said in the audience is picked up by our cameras, so there are times when that will drown us out. So please, by all means, if you'd like to have a conversation, please do so. Just please go to the lobby. All right? And are there any questions related to this?
Nope.
Any questions? All right, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Montgomery. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher.
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery.
Yay.
Mr. Prophet.
Yay.
Mr. Nichols.
Yay.
Ms. Butts.
Yay.
Mr. Rourke.
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Mr. Ziffel.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 2, a resolution amending resolution number 13-2025 to approve a change in location for the static display from Community Park to the municipal complex located at Trenton.
I do believe we had a discussion about the static display. Do we want to have any further discussion about the static display?
I'd just like to say one thing. With the changes that they made in the program, I understand that we would be responsible for shipping expenses and things like that, which we wouldn't have been in the past. But not having any idea of what equipment we might be able to get and where it would come from, I think it would be premature to abandon this. I mean, this could be something as close as coming from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where shipping would be next to nothing. So I think we keep it on the table until we have more information. Just my opinion.
It could be as far away as California.
Yeah,
right.
But this doesn't tie us into anything. It just allows us to go forward and see what we can get and what it would cost.
Yeah, we're just to make sure we clarify here that we have the final say after we're offered a piece of equipment, correct?
Yes.
Whether to place it or not.
Yes. So the again, to kind of restate the process, the U.S. Army surplus would send out a list with pictures of the equipment, and I believe it has the locations on it as well. We would, as one of the entities that are interested, would submit a top 3 list of pieces of equipment, send that back, and then the U.S. Army Surplus Program would review that amongst all of the organizations, and then they would decide who gets what piece of equipment, and then at that point, we would have the ability to accept and move forward or to turn it down.
But this resolution is just where it would be placed in the
if we got it in the first place.
That is correct.
So we're not saying we're going to do it or not do it. We're just saying if we do it, it's going to be placed by the city
Correct,
building.
and the thought was to bring this forth to council because the original resolution and application for this program notated that the purpose of the static display was to be next to the Veterans Memorial.
Right.
Okay.
So that was kind of the intent.
Okay.
Question with that, is there a time limit when it comes to that application process that the
Yeah, there is a certain time limit from the time that the U.S. Army surplus sends out that list to the time that we have to have information back to them. I can't remember what that time limit was, but I know I sent something forward to the Parks Board.
Yeah.
Last fall, I believe. So there is a timeline, but I believe it's a doable timeline to get something figured out.
Oh, yeah.
Would moving it to the city building result in a new application because we're changing the address? I know you had to put coordinates in for the park. Would it be a new application, or are you able to?
It may, yeah, it may be a new application to update the address and things like that. But again, if it's not moved, it may be a new application because our justification was it was going to be right next to the Veterans Memorial, and that's not a justification anymore.
Right. And for this year, that's it. The application period is finished. So we would have to put in a new application for next year anyway, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Anything additional? Roll call, please.
who first and
Oh, I'm sorry. I would like to entertain a motion that we approve.
So moved.
Second.
We'll go with Councilman Profit and Vice Mayor Croucher. Roll call, please.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Mayor Berry?
Yay. Mr. Ziffel.
Thank you. Item 3, an ordinance establishing section 1610.11 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio, pursuant to 2025 Ohio Fire Code section 506.1, authorizing the fire code officials to require all new commercial occupancies to install a key box for fire department access and be maintained at all times, declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion from council? All right. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to authorize.
So moved. Second.
Councilwoman Montgomery and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Mayor Berry?
Yay. On to public hearings. Number 1 is an ordinance amending section 1248.01 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio. If you would like to speak for this, please step up to the podium. Mr. Zivel?
We can't hear what you're asking
Oh.
us to speak for.
Okay.
If you could speak into the mic, Mr. Zippel.
Absolutely, Vice Mayor. The ordinance amending section 1248.01 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, that is ordinance 05-2026 in the council packet, which is the establishment of the public institutional zoning district and the parks and open space zoning district.
Okay, so what this did is traditionally in the city of Trenton, we had very limited zoning applications or zoning districts. Like, for instance, our city park right now and where the municipal building is all zoned for residential. So what this is going to do is it's going to establish zoning for parks and for public administration, if I understand that correctly. Public institutions. So this sets those zoning things aside so that we're not zoning something residential that really is parkland. It'll lock it in as parkland. And if you would like to speak for this, please step to the podium. If you would like to speak against it, please step to the podium.
I don't have a summary of the differences. I can't review all the legislation.
So
It's been in the legislation.
one thing I will note is that the 48.01 is simply to add public institutional and parks open space to the list of zoning districts. Further on down in a separate public hearing, there will be a creation of the specific zoning district.
So public institutions, to answer the quick question, public institutions would be considered like the city building, would be public institutions. All right, if you'd like to speak against it, please step to the podium.
I just want to make sure that there's clarification that IT was already previously on there. That's all I'm asking, is that before it's approved that IT is on there, because it's not on the website, it's not on the definitions, it's nowhere to be found, so.
Yes, IT was established. I'll get you a date for that.
Yeah, we'll get you a date, but this is not enacting any type of, not discussing.
No, I know.
It has nothing to do with the IT.
It just looks like the IT was added on this specific one.
Understood.
Okay, I'll close that one and we'll move on to number 2, an ordinance establishing section 1252.19 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio. Mr. Zipfel?
Yes, this is ordinance 06-2026 in our packet. This is the regulations, as Mr. Nichols has already stated, of the Parks and Open Space District, which limits the permitted uses in those areas designated as parks and open space.
Thank you very much. If you'd like to speak for it, please step to the podium. If you'd like to speak against it, please step to the podium. I'll close that public hearing. We'll move on to number 3, an ordinance establishing section 1252.20 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio. Mr. Zipfel.
Yes, Mayor, this is ordinance number 07-2026 in our packet. This is the ordinance establishing the permitted uses in the public institutional district, limiting the principal permitted uses in their accessory permitted uses to public institutional uses.
Yep. So really what these next 2 are doing are they're just defining what those are, correct?
That's correct. So, if you look at section 1252.20B, the proposed legislation limits the principal permitted uses to municipal buildings, police and fire stations, public libraries, public schools, courthouses, things like that.
Okay. Thank you. If you'd like to speak for this, please step to the podium. If you'd like to speak against it, please step to the podium. All right, I will close the public hearing and move on to number 4, an ordinance amending section 1242.01 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton. I believe we already gave the what this is about with this is just establishing the guidelines for the park land, correct?
Yes, it actually changes the definition for open space to include these areas.
Okay. Thank you. If you'd like to speak for this, please step to the podium. If you'd like to speak against it, please step to the podium. All right, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. We'll move on to new business. Number 1 is a motion authorizing the city manager to execute an annexation petition for certain real property located in Madison Township and St. Clair Township, Butler County, Ohio. Are there any questions from council?
Well, just to be clear, this is just a vote for a petition. It's not a vote for anything to be done immediately. Am I correct?
Yes. Correct.
It's just for a vote for a petition, as if somebody was going up to my door knocking and saying, would you sign this paper? So it's just a petition vote.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I understand correctly, Mr. Zipfel, please interrupt me. All this is doing is we're taking the property owners of those property and we're saying we're open to looking into annexation.
Yeah, you're filing the application counting for the process to begin for the county to review.
A petition, okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to authorize.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilman Nichols. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Profit,
Nay.
Ms. Butts,
Nay.
Mr. Rourke,
Nay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Move on to legislation. I will entertain a motion that we read items 1 through 7 by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Mr. Zipfel, please pause after. What do we have? 1, 2, 3. Yep. Please pause after the ones that say second reading. We'll just make that easy.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1, an ordinance amending section 1248.01 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. All right.
Item 2, an ordinance establishing section 1252.19 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio.
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Mr. Ziffel.
Item 3, an ordinance establishing section 1252.20 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio.
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Mr. Zipfel.
Item 4, an ordinance amending section 1242.01 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Zipfel. A motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It is Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilman Rourke. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Mr. Zipfel.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 5, an ordinance amending section 620 farm animals of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio. Item 6, an ordinance amending section 1258.18 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio. Item 7, a resolution to cancel a maintenance bond for Maple View Section 5 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zipfel. There is a request that we suspend the 2 readings and vote on this tonight.
Mayor Perry, prior to moving forward with that, items number 5 and 6, if there could be a motion to refer those ordinances to planning commission for further review and consideration, and then additionally schedule a public hearing for
June 6th.
All right. I will entertain a motion that we do so.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right. We have Councilman Nichols and Vice Mayor Croucher. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. All right. And we will move back to the number 7, the motion that we suspend the 2 readings and vote on item 7 tonight. Would someone like to make the motion? We do so.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Councilman Nichols and Councilman Rourke. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. All right. And motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have Vice Mayor, or Councilman Nichols and Vice Mayor Croucher. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. All right. We'll move on to reports. Mr. Zipfel.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
All right. Mr. Masisklis.
Thank you, Mayor. So Christ is risen.
Thank you very much. Mr. Beresford.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I sent a memo to council about the polls for the Hometown Hero banner program. So staff has submitted roughly around 45 polls, and we're going to continue to submit more polls, but we've submitted those to Duke, and we're waiting for the approval of those permits. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nichols. We will move on to audience of council. And we will start tonight from Councilman Prophet.
I have no reports.
Thank you, Councilman Prophet. Councilman Rourke.
Well, it's been a tough night. I feel like my name's Everlast, the punching bag, or weight bag to be beat on, but I definitely picked a long time to want to do something for my city and become a council member. I've been a council member for 4 months now, and it hurts to have people look at you, insinuate that you're filling your pockets and you're not listening and all this good stuff. But like I'm doing it for the community. I'm doing it for my family. I have granddaughters here in the city. I care about this city. Everything we have in front of us, we discuss it, we investigate it, we check things out. A lot of times it's kind of insulting. Some people's remarks, like we're not even looking into the things that we need to look into, which is kind of insulting. But you know what? I took an oath to do what's best for not just the residents, but also for the city of Trenton. And that's what I want to stand up and do. So, but other than that, thanks for everybody coming out, and have a good evening.
Stop. Councilwoman Butts.
Just a reminder that we have our Earth Day, Arbor Day celebration coming up next week, the 25th, I believe.
Yes.
25th. Yes, drug take-back's the same day. Thank you. I have nothing else.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Montgomery.
Well, I want to thank Pastor Keith Reisner for the wonderful prayer. He's a really good man of God and stands for the good of the community as well. And I want to thank all the people that came out to help him set up the tent for Easter Sunday. Kenneth, I thank you for going there and helping with doing that. And also, we had a wonderful time at the East.
Carry on, Mrs. Montgomery.
At the Easter sunrise service. Was very, very nice. And I just also want to say that I am glad that our tax season went as well this year. It really turned out well. And I'm not I took this very, very serious when I ran for city council. And I'm not going anywhere. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Montgomery. Councilman Nichols.
Why'd you leave me like that? He knows I always have something to say. First, I'd like to thank all our dispatchers. They do a great job for us. As before, I spent almost 20 years volunteering for the Life Squad here in town. So, back then I dealt with them on a pretty much daily basis, and they've always been a very, very professional group that watch out for our crews and our residents, and they just do a great job. And I think it's going to be fantastic that we're finally going to be able to move them into a new facility where they actually have the space that they need to do the job, because they have been so cramped in this dispatch center for so long. That's going to be a world of difference for them. I think probably more than anybody else in the city, really. Congrats to our detective that received the honor. He's been doing a great job. I mean, he can't solve every crime, but he's getting the most he can, and he's doing a good job for us. We appreciate that. Just to make a couple remarks on a couple questions that were asked of residents that weren't really addressed this evening. One gentleman asked if we've ever visited a data center. Yes, we have. We took a day and we went up near Columbus and we went to a data center, and we specifically went to one that was almost identical to what is being proposed for our industrial site. I have less concerns about the data center after being up there and actually visiting it than I did before. I do still have some concerns. You know, I don't think anybody up here is you know, without any concerns. But going up there and speaking with the people, and it wasn't just the head honchos up there we spoke to. You know, there were people working there we could speak to. We could go to businesses and residences around the area and talk to those people, which some of our people did. And a lot of the things that are being spread about the data centers simply are not true. You know, it's still being spread online that they use 5 million gallons of water a day, and they're dumping their water out on the ground and all this stuff, and it's simply not true. Yeah. And we've done more homework on this than people realize. My wife complains to me daily how much time I spend on the computer. Yeah, and like Mr. Rourke said, it's kind of hurtful for people to make the accusations that we haven't researched this, that we don't care, that we're lining our pockets. Yeah, I make $200 a month doing this job. And then at one of the meetings, had a gentleman stand up and say, well, you should be down there knocking on my door, letting me know what's going on. Yeah, I'm sorry, but for $200 a month, that's not going to happen. I don't think anybody would expect that, really. We've done everything we can to make things available. As far as the agenda being amended at the last minute, that happens frequently. And the reason it happens frequently is because a couple years ago, when Stosh came on board, it used to be the agenda didn't come out until a day or two before the meeting. Stosh has started putting it out a week before. So of course, that means there may be an amendment to it more often. It's not something we're trying to hide. It's simply, there has to be an amendment made once in a while because we're putting that out earlier than we used to. Yeah, it's just a byproduct of that. I think that's all I have for now.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor Croucher.
I'd like to thank Pastor Keith Reisner for the prayer tonight. Also, like Councilman Nichols just said, really don't have a whole lot to add. I agree with everything he said, and I appreciate your words, Ray. Congratulations to the Trenton PD. That is definitely some awards that are well deserved, especially Sean and Chris, both of you officers, and Detective Chris. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. I actually got to come up and say something to Chris before the work session started and congratulated him personally. I'm very proud of the Trenton PD and what Chief Carr has done since he has came on staff here at Trenton. We're known as Safe Town USA. If you have a warrant out for your arrest and you come into Trenton, you're not going to leave without our police department picking you up before you get to the other side of town. So on that being said, I really have no other reports, Mayor.
Thank you. I'm going to sound like a broken record like I do every week, but I understand that everyone wants to get involved in the community, and I want everyone to be involved in the community. But I don't want it to just stop here. There have been numerous times and numerous events around the city that have either not happened or been scaled back due to lack of volunteers or people not showing up for shifts that they have. Like I said before, we had a Spring Fest last year that we had to scale down the amount of inflatables that we were going to put up because there was no one to watch the kids while the inflatables were up. The soccer teams, the soccer association, and the baseball association routinely come to us with needs that they have because they don't have enough people to volunteer. They have nobody to mow their grass. They don't have people to line their fields. Here's what I'm asking. if you don't trust the city and you don't want to volunteer for a city event at this time, that's fine. I understand that. We're all human. But please volunteer for something. Don't let your love for the city or your commitment to the city stop at these meetings. Please go out and help the city in other ways. In whatever way that you see fit, help the city, because there are a lot of organizations out there that need help, that need people, and it seems like it's the same people at every event. So whatever it is, and I'm not asking you to make it public or anything else, just further help the city if you're able. And that's all for me. So I will entertain a motion at this time that we adjourn tonight's proceedings.
So, second.
Have Councilman Nichols and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Prophet?
Yeah.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. We are adjourned at 9:31 p.m. Everyone have a good week.